Hello there, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the month of July. The first half of this will be covering July the 1st through the 17th, and then after that we'll look at July the 18th through the 31st. So what we're looking at right now has to do with environment. And environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. Usually it's home, but not always. You want to sort of have an open mind about where this could be for you. And what I'm seeing is that you are spending money in your environment or on your environment, and this is money that you even had been stashed back or had been saving back that you're spending on your environment during this time frame. Next thing that we have coming up talks to me about your subconscious leanings, and there's something going on where there's not very much communication happening between you and somebody else right now, and I think your subconscious is working on, do I feel like this is a good thing, or do I feel like this is a bad thing that we're not communicating as much as we used to? Next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about learning style and also communication style. I do think that there is a lot that you're learning, and I think you're learning this through talking to other people who are interested in the same types of things that you are. This is kind of an iron sharpens iron situation where communication back and forth, sharing ideas back and forth is giving you ideas and helping you learn and move forward with whatever this topic is. And then as far as your communication style, I do feel like there is a lot of communication going on during this particular time frame. A little bit of it is centered around emotions, but I think a lot of it actually is centered around information and new information and sharing information with other people. Really interesting. Because learning seems to take like a focal point of your communication as well as what you're learning portion of that card. So that's really interesting. Next up, Cancers, what we have is work. And so this is what you do to feel productive in the community, whether it comes with a paycheck or whether it doesn't, okay? And it looks like right now there's a lot of strategy going on for you whenever it comes to work. You're really making some plans and figuring some things out when it comes to work. Now the next thing that I have showing up talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now, Cancers. And please remember that these are very general because I'm reaching out to a whole lot of people with this video. And so I'm not going to go super specific because that would make it not fit a whole lot of people. So everything is going to be pretty general. There's going to be lots of different ways that this can manifest for different ones of you. I don't have time to go through every single example. Okay, so you just have to know that as you're watching this video that what you're getting is a general energy because I'm not doing your personal intimate reading here. Now if you want something that is very specific, then you want to get a personal reading. And I just got off on that tangent because I could hear somebody in their mind thinking, maybe even they said it out loud when they were watching this, this is just really general, anybody could do this. And I won't deny that. Anybody could do this. I just happen to be the girl next door that happens to be psychic. But not everybody hones their skills like those of us who are professionals. Anyway, not everybody cares to do this. Anyway, let's move on, right? Let's let Amista get off her soapbox and move on. Next thing I'm looking at does talk to me about that part of your personality where you're growing or expanding right now, Cancers. And I think that there's something going on where you have somebody in your sphere of influence who is just generally grumpy, aggravated, unruly is the word that Spirit is giving me. They're unruly and without reason even is what I'm hearing. And so where you're growing or expanding is in figuring out, okay, how do I interact with this person in a way that is healthy without letting them just energy vampires suck all my energy away from me, okay? Next thing that I'm looking at does talk to me about something that you stand for. Now this is going to be something that somebody has come to you and either asked you to explain or possibly even confronted you about. And so you've had to stand up for this situation or this thing, whatever. And then we're going to look at how that person sees you after that explanation or that confrontation, okay? So, what are you standing for? You have given somebody a gift. And so somebody's confronting you about the idea that you gave somebody a gift. Or for some of you, you're giving somebody a second chance the same card can mean either one to me, and I'm hearing that for most of you this is a gift, but for some of you you're giving somebody the gift of a second chance. And so after you've had an interaction with somebody else and they have this, you've explained to them the reasoning behind this gift or this second chance, they are seeing you as somebody who is very independent, somebody who is very self-sufficient, somebody who really thinks for themselves and doesn't let cultural norms rule your behavior. Okay? All right, so next thing that we have showing up for you, Cancers, talks to me about the lesson or the experience of the time frame for you. And so what we have coming in is a card that talks about that you're drawing those things to you that you love and that you think are beautiful and that have value. You're drawing those things to you that you may consider valuable. For some of you, you may be getting pregnant. For others of you, you may be creating a wonderful new product or a wonderful new business, but you're drawing things to you that are useful, that are valuable, that are enjoyable, that are pleasant during this time frame. I like to see this. At the same time that this is happening, and part of why this is happening is because there's a situation that you left because you felt depleted by it. You felt like it was taking more energy than it was giving back to you. You're coming back into this situation. This is interesting. And I feel like this is a situation with somebody who is actually a narcissist. So it's interesting that we see you really manifesting and creating at the same time that you're interacting with this narcissistic type of person, because that person really can drag a lot of energy and can make it really hard for us to be productive and move forward. But I feel like you're sort of leapfrogging off of this person's assets. I don't think they realize really what your plan is, otherwise they wouldn't be for it at all. They like to keep you sort of under their thumb and under control. But with you manifesting these things that you're manifesting, I'm going to say I think that you are going back to this situation just for a limited time only, just for as long as you have to, until you feel like you can handle things all by yourself. And actually, by the time we get to the 17th of July, I really feel like even though you're interacting with this person, I think they're asking you to take this interaction to the next level. And I think you're telling them, no thanks, I kind of like things just the way they are right now. I'll stay in my house, you stay in your house, I'll do my thing, you do your thing. I appreciate the investment or the funds or the encouragement, but I don't want to make this interaction into a serious relationship type of thing. Okay, so that's where we see you at the 17th. And then what we'll do is we'll take a break, and when I come back, we'll look at the rest of the month. See you in a second. Okay, Cancers, we are back, and this time we're looking at July 18th through the 31st, starting off once again with environment. And whenever I'm looking at environment during this time frame, please remember we are talking about anywhere you have energy or effort invested. It looks to me like you're realizing that there's something that needs to be done or taken care of in your environment, and you're not feeling really enthused about it. You don't have a lot of energy towards this. It doesn't feel exciting. It feels kind of actually tedious. All right, next thing that we have coming up talks to me about your subconscious leanings. It's interesting, the card that we have coming up about your subconscious leanings is the moon. And the moon does talk about the subconscious. It did come up in reverse. So I just thought that was interesting. For those of you who know tarot, you would appreciate that. But anyway, the moon in reverse is just telling me that subconscious leanings, there is some kind of truth that's coming to light. To me, this really tells me that I'm feeling like Cancers, for a lot of you, you're starting to understand someplace where you've been sort of self-sabotaging or shooting yourself in the foot without even realizing it before because of your own subconscious mind frame. And so as that thought process comes up to the surface where you can examine it, this gives you a chance, and your subconscious is really working with this to get rid of anything that is negative about this and replace that with something that would be positive and help you move forward more productively. Very exciting stuff to see, actually, Cancer. Next thing I'm looking at talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style during this particular time frame. I do feel like, once again, your learning is very organized, or maybe that wasn't you before. No, that was Taurus before. Sorry. Anyway, I do feel like your learning style is very organized, where you're taking information and you're just putting, new information on top of old information and just building on what you already know in a very organized and methodical fashion. As far as your communication during this time frame, I do see you being very outgoing, Cancer, very peppy, very optimistic, little Miss Sunshine, just happy, outgoing, effervescent, even bubbly is your communication at this point in time, Cancers. La da 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 da. Looking at work. Okay, so when I'm looking at work, what I'm seeing is that there have been some things that have disappointed you whenever it comes to work right now, Cancer. And it's going to be real tempting as you go through this time frame to sort of allow yourself to have that pity party that we're all so familiar with. However, I'm going to advise against it, because if you can stay away from pity party mode, then you can see that there is a new opportunity coming your way as long as you don't speak so negative that you scare it on out of the room, okay? So try to stay very positive in spite of disappointments. Keep your eye open for, okay, well, what's the next opportunity that I can work with or that I can move forward with here? And it'll show. It'll show pretty quickly if you keep a good attitude about it, if you keep looking for that positive. Now, next thing that I have coming up talks to me about that part of your personality which is growing or expanding right now. This talks about the idea that you're really stressed out, and this may be why I'm not seeing it being an easy thing for you to stay positive with the disappointments at work, because you do have a lot of stress showing up here, and it looks like what you're stressing about, the things that you're stressing about, because I do feel like there's more than one thing, but I think that the things you're stressing out about are things that are not under your control. So you want to find a way to sort of turn loose of those, let the universe handle them, and focus on the things that you can control moving forward, okay? Now, the next thing that we have coming up, Cancers, does talk to me about something that you stand for, and how the other person feels after you have had the interaction when they've asked about this or confronted you about this. So Cancers, it does look like there's somebody in your life that you have cut out, that you no longer communicate with. And it looks like that's what somebody is asking you to explain or confronting you about. And basically what you're saying, or basically what is happening, is that this other person is feeling like, okay, so Cancer felt like there was some type of competition going on, and they did not want to be in the mix of competition. They didn't want to compete for somebody's attention, and so they just stepped out gracefully. Okay? That's how somebody is seeing this once you've made that explanation. All right. The next thing that we have showing up for you, Cancers, is the lesson or experience of the time frame. It does look like you have something to celebrate, and you're going to be celebrating here, not by yourself either, with friends and family maybe even. But definitely celebrating something. And part of what you're celebrating has to do with the idea that you have received some type of gift. There's something that you're feeling deep gratitude for that has come towards you. And I think that whatever this is that you have received, I think that you are holding some of it back or stashing some of it away. You're keeping it. I don't think that you're really letting everybody know exactly what this gift was or how big this gift was. This is something that, you're just kind of keeping it private. All right. And then at the end of the month, what we see you doing is walking away from some type of situation that has left you feeling depleted and exposed, basically, depleted and vulnerable. And so you're walking away from that situation looking for something that's going to be more of a two-way street once you get to the end of the month, Cancers. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. pretty nice once we get more towards the end of the month. I'm happy to see a lot of that stuff that came up, the celebration, the gift, all of that. That's good stuff. And so Cancers, I do want to thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this video and for putting a thumbs up on it. Thank you also to those of you who order private readings and private Reiki sessions from me. And I do appreciate all of you guys' support. It is because of you guys that I get to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you very much. Peace out.